Yeah, I think firstly it's great to be back here at Phoenix. You know, definitely a lot of great memories, especially for me, I think back to the early 2000s. So seen a lot of different variants of this circuit, but the test is going well. It's great that, you know, I think INDYCAR and obviously Firestone are working hard, you know, to create opportunities, I think, for racing, not just here at Phoenix, but some of the other tracks down the road, short ovals especially. So it's cool to actually be back doing a full-on tire test.
The test day is going great. You know, this is a super important one for the series, to try and make sure that we choose the right tire. You know, with how close IndyCar racing has gotten now, with how dynamic short oval racing can be, a lot of that is about choosing the right tire. And I think really the more that we've done these tests, the better race product we put on. So I'm really honored to be a part of it and help kind of steer the direction of what this race will be in March.
And I think they try to, you know, kind of move the drivers around so it's not all, you know, piling up on one as far as a fairness situation. So any test I can do, I'm definitely game for. The most fun I have in this series, hands down, is driving the car. So yeah, you know, I think it's just who can schedule-wise fit it in, to be honest.
Well, Ed has to be here because he's the boss man, right? But Christian, you know, having never been out here before, and he's still in that stage of his career where, you know, there's still a lot of new things to him, and he's never seen a tire test before, and at one point he'll be called up to do one. So just to absorb as much information as you can, like ultimately it helps you in the long run.
Well, I think some of it will be, you know, durability and you know, different options, I think, for different circuits. You know, it's not you don't often, again, get to test too often doing a tire test. So, you know, I think they've brought, you know, a lot of different variables, whether it's compounds, constructions, some will be durability and reliability. Ultimately, I think it's kind of building, like we try to do for everything, a toolbox to allow us to adjust at different tracks that we go to, not just here.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a result here historically, but like it was so long ago. The cars are obviously quite a bit different. The track, while theoretically is different, isn't, but still, just because you had previous success here, even if it was last year, it doesn't really guarantee anything. But this is it's a really cool market to be in, and everyone loves coming to the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and just the geography around us is pretty awesome. So a good one to add to the calendar.
The track itself, I think, is pretty much the same. Pit exit has changed a little bit. I think the kink and how they've moved the back wall. The grandstand is not where it used to be. The start finish has moved to the opposite side. So I guess everything has changed. You know, I think, but the coolest thing for us is when we do come back here to race is with Cup. You know, it's going to be a fantastic weekend, a great partnership, I think, between NASCAR and IndyCar. But as far as the old track, when I first came maybe in the early 2000s, it's kind of flipped on its head.
Oh, I'm still very much calling that turn 1 and 2 and that 3 and 4. So other than the numbering, nothing. Like you would never really use the apron or in the dog leg. The flag stand's cool. It lights up, nice colors. Other than that, it's the same.
You know, I think it's honestly, it's just fantastic for the fans. You know, for us as race car drivers or teams, you know, I think we love racing and doing, you know, our day job no matter where we are. You know, I think picking the right circumstances, right series, this combo, I think is big for us attracting NASCAR fans and vice versa. You know, so there are really no downsides. And for me, on a personal level, it's great to catch up with people I haven't seen for a while, you know, reminisce and hang out a little bit. So it's a bit of a social weekend too, but ultimately it's the best opportunity you could ever have for fans.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like even though it's a short oval, it's the racing style and characteristics are similar enough. I mean, obviously it's closer, here's closer to Indy than St. Pete, right? So I think it's a good thing, and it gives everyone a chance to kind of get their oval legs, if you will, under them before you head to the big one.
Yeah, the off-season, IndyCar-wise, is fairly long. You know, it's nice to have a test like this, and then once we get to maybe February, we'll kick off a little bit. A lot of us are lucky in the fact that we get to do a little bit of sports car racing. So, you know, there's a test next week for Daytona, then we kick off in January, obviously there. Off-season for me, I haven't been home for about 3 years, so really looking forward to getting back to New Zealand, especially with the kids. Especially with Kit now, he's 5, he'll be 6 in December, so he'll remember a lot more of going back home to New Zealand. So yeah, honestly, for me, it's just spending time with the family.